This video is a review of the Ride1Up Portola Folding Ebike. We're going to unbox, assemble, go over the controls, test the acceleration, max speed, and brakes, and review the e-bike. The Portola has a 750 watt rear hub motor with a max speed of 28 miles per hour or 45 kilometers per hour. Thumb throttle, 48 volt 10.4 amp hour or 13.4 amp hour battery with a range of up to 45 miles or 72 kilometers. Cadence sensor, front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, 8-speed Shimano Altus shifter, hydraulic lockout fork, 20-inch by 3-inch tires, headlight, taillight, and weighs 60 pounds or 27 kilograms. Additional specs can be found in the description section below. This is the box that it came in. This is pretty much everything assembled except the front handlebar, which we need to attach shortly. Just looking at this, it came with a box. Inside the box, there's the toolkit, instruction manual, flyer for commission, a beanie, maintenance grease, and this is the charger. Inside the toolkit, it was just a pack of Allen keys. I'm gonna take this plastic piece off. This is a 5mm. I'm going to loosen this and keep the stem cap. I'm going to take the silver spacer off. Some of you might also have a second black spacer. I'm going to take this one off too. I'm going to put this on using our bolt and stem cap. I'm going to tighten this around 90% just to hold in place, and then using my legs to hold the front wheel straight, I'm gonna close the stem, not fully, but enough to see where the handlebar position is. And I want the handlebar perpendicular with the front wheel, and this silver bun's around 45 degrees. Once it's good, you can finish tightening this. It's a little too tight. This stem binds a little bit. The front wheel doesn't turn smoothly. I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Here are the assembly instructions. The center cap is to be tightened 7 Newton meters. And it's better. Double check that the handlebar is perpendicular to the front wheel. Once you're okay with the position, you'll tighten these 2 bolts. To double check that it was installed properly, put your hand on the left brake lever and push up and down. And if it feels loose, then you need to retighten the center cap or the ones here. To unfold the pedals, you need to pull this outwards. Right now it doesn't go all the way in, so you might need to push the pedal in and then rotate it a few degrees until it clicks in. And then you can do the same on the other side. And in order to fold them, you just push them in and rotate them 90 degrees. For the seat, there's this lever that you pull outwards, and then you can pull the seat to your desired height and then push this back in. If it's still too loose, you can turn the other side clockwise and then pull this lever in. In order to adjust the seat position, front or back, or the angle, there's 2 bolts here, 1, 2. Take your 5mm Allen key to loosen them, and then adjust it to your liking, then tighten them. This is the folding mechanism for the frame. There's a lever here that you need to push this forward, and then pull this lever out. You can push the frame to fold it. Let's take a look at the battery. It came with 2 keys that were on the handlebar. Put them in here. turn it clockwise, and then you can twist this lever in order to remove the battery. This is the side, the bottom, the other side. This is the charging port up here. Here is the battery model information in case you need to buy a replacement. The bottom contacts, and then the top, there is a battery indicator, which you can't see when it's installed on the bike. You can take the battery out and charge it separately without having to lug the entire bike up the stairs. Let's put it back in. On the other side, there's a silicone or rubber cover. Pull that out, and you can access the charging port. Plug that in. Plugging the other side into the wall. Looking at the brick, it's red. If it's fully charged, it'll turn green. Next, you want to double check that everything that can be tightened is tight. You can inflate the tires to 35 psi, and then I like to double check the brakes too, that they're not rubbing. So this one is not rubbing. Notice that the front rubs a little bit, so I might need to do some adjustments, and I will not be covering that in this video. You can also adjust the rear derailleurs. Let's take a look at the parts of the bike. There's the thumb throttle here. There is the front brake lever, the display, the shifter. It's an 8-speed shifter, the rear brake lever, and then there's the grips. In order to turn this on, we press and hold the power button. And then, just so that you guys can see it, I'm going to turn the headlight on. We press and hold the plus button. The instruction manual says this is a KD21C LCD display, so we can find more information on this specific model online. We have the plus button, the power button, the minus button. This is the battery level, the light indicator. This is the pedal assist level, which we can change from 0 to 5. This is the current speed, and then this is the power in watts. If we press the power button once, it cycles through different modes. So this is the odometer, 0.6 miles, trip, time. This looks like the max speed, the average speed, and then it goes back. If we press and hold the minus button, it provides a walk mode with, it's supposed to be 4 miles per hour of pedal assist. In order to get to the settings, we press and hold the plus and minus button, and TC is trip distance clearance. I think you can press up to clear it, and then press the mode button to actually clear it. Let's go back to the settings. If we press the power button, this is the backlight brightness, and it goes up to 3. I'm going to keep it at 1 by default. And then U is the units. Currently it's in miles per hour, and that's indicated by the number 1. If we press 2, it goes to kilometers per hour. I'm going to keep it at miles per hour, and then it goes back to TC-N. I found a manual for the KD21C display, and it has more settings, but this display only has 3 settings, which is fine. I'm going to test the max speed in each pedal assist level. Out of the factory, I think it's a class 2. Pedal assist 0. We're getting 20 miles per hour. Pedal assist 1. We're getting 20 miles per hour. Pedal assist 5. We're getting 20 miles per hour. So I think the thumb throttle is actually independent of the actual pedaling. So we'll actually test the pedaling max speeds during the test ride. Ride1Up also told me that in order to change the class of the bike, you press and hold the minus and power button. So by default it's C2. I saw that it's at C3, so let me just test this by raising the rear wheel. This should go to 28 miles per hour. So it actually might go to 28 miles per hour when I actually pedal. I just want to see if it does anything when I go to C1. For C1, it's actually pedaling only. There's no thumb throttle. I'm going to change it back to C3. I'll test the max speed when I'm actually on the road. There's also a list of error codes. 21 is current abnormality, 22 is throttle abnormality, 23 is motor sensor, 24 is motor communication, 25 is DBS, electronic brake shutoff, and then 30 is communication error. In order to turn this off, press and hold the power button. Right now I'm going to test the e-bike in throttle only and then pedal assist only. For throttle only, during the stationary test we saw that pedal assist 0 through 5 is all the same. The throttle is independent of the pedal assist level. We'll just test it out in real life conditions. Pedal assist level 0. We hit 19.8 miles per hour and 20 miles per hour. We'll test acceleration on pedal assist 5 to see how fast it takes to verify that it's the same as pedal assist 0. And there's a slight downhill right now, so it might get there a little faster. (20 miles per hour). And now we're going to test the same thing, but with pedaling only. In pedal assist 0, there should not be any assistance, and I'm not getting assistance from the rear motor. Typically, rear motors provide some resistance, but I don't feel much right now. There might be 5%. So if your battery ever dies, you can still ride the bike normally. And there's an 8-speed shifter, which makes it easier. Let's go to pedal assist 1. The motor kicked in. And we're getting 7.8 miles per hour. That's when I felt the motor stop. Pedal assist 2. We're at 11.4. Pedal assist 3. We're getting 17.9. Let's try pedal assist 4. The motor's still engaging and we're at 22 miles per hour. I felt like it maxed out at 22 miles per hour. Pedal assist 5. The motor kicked in. We're at 26, 27, 28, 29, I think 28 or 29 is going to be the max that we're going to get. I'm already at the lowest gear on the back, and I was pedaling quite aggressively. If I pedal just leisurely, I want to see what's the average speed that I'm going to get. This is pretty comfortable, and we're getting 25 miles per hour, 26, 27, 28. If you pedal with the same cadence, it's going to get you to 28 miles per hour eventually, and I didn't feel like I was working against the motor. I was working with it, and I was able to get that speed. So I would say if you have a long stretch and you just pedal normally, you could probably consistently keep 28 miles per hour. Now I'm going to test the brakes. I'm just going to hit the max speed of 28 miles per hour and then slam on the brakes to see how soon I can stop. We're at 28 at this cone, and from that cone to around here, I'd say that's around 15 feet. The brakes feel very good. They're hydraulic disc brakes, and they're very responsive. The front shock is also adjustable. Currently it's locked, and if I want to unlock it, I'll just turn this clockwise, and now it's springy. And then I think there's micro adjustments right here. Moving on to the review of the Ride1Up Portola. This is the listing, and it's currently listed for $995. There might be sales, so for the latest pricing, check out the description section below. It comes in 3 colors. There's charcoal gloss, sea turquoise, and then indigo matte. I have the charcoal one, and there's 2 battery sizes, the 10.4 and 13.4 amp hour. What I like about this e-bike is that there's a 750 watt rear hub motor. I've actually tested at 29 miles per hour. It's advertised for 28 with pedal assist only. With a throttle, it's only 20 miles. There is also hydraulic brakes, which is very nice and very responsive. It's nice that there is the locking and unlocking front shock, the headlight, the removable battery. You can leave the bike parked in a garage, and then you can take the battery upstairs with you to charge it if you live in an apartment. And then there's hydraulic disc brakes, which are very nice and responsive. There's also a rear rack. You can put stuff on it. I think they sell a basket or possibly have a passenger. And then there's the rear tail light. And also, because it's foldable, it doesn't take a lot of space, and you can bring it with you in your car. Riding it so far, the only suggestion I would have is if they enabled the thumb throttle to go 28 miles per hour as well. Currently it only goes 20 miles per hour, and in order to get 28 miles per hour, you need to pedal. Other than that, I don't have any complaints. So if you guys are in the market for a folding e-bike that goes up to 28 miles per hour and costs less than $1,000 and has hydraulic disc brakes, you can check this one out. It's the Ride1Up Portola. For the latest pricing, check out the description section below. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Feel free to leave questions or comments in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.